Hello, I am Nelson Augustine. I welcome you to my lesson on SURDS. Thanks to Dr. David from New Abrim, Afosu Senior High School for requesting for this video. Now in this lesson, we are going to look at the basics of SURDS. Join me as we go through it step by step. Remember to follow me on Facebook, Maths with Vim, TikTok at Nkontababa, and also subscribe to my YouTube channel. Now, the whole idea is very simple. Let us recall what we call perfect squares. That is, if I take 2 squared, I get 4. This implies that square root of 4 is 2. If I take 3 squared, I get 9. If I take 4 squared, it is 16. 5 squared, 25. 6 squared, 36. 7 squared is 49. 8 squared is 64. 9 squared is 81. 10 squared is 100. 11 squared is 121. 13 squared is 169. And it goes on and on. Now, this implies that if I take square root of 9, the answer is 3. So these numbers are called perfect squares. They are called perfect squares, or they are called square numbers. So if you really want to understand SURD, then it means that you need to get in touch with perfect squares or square numbers. 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49, 64, 81, 100, 121, 169, 144. That is 12 squared. I didn't bring it. 12 squared is 144. 14 squared is 196. 15 squared is 225, and it goes on. So now, why is it that square root of 9 is equal to 3? Remember, square root is one of the 2 equal factors of a given number. Wow, that is it. So, we are not going to dive into that. Let's concentrate here on that a small trick. And we also know that square root means power half. Let's use that one. So if I write 9 power half, and this 9 is the same as 3 squared, and it has another power half. Then from indices, if I have a to the power n to the power n, this gives me a to the power n times n, which equals 3 power 2 times 1 divided by 2. If we point this, we get 3 to the power 1, which is the same as 3. That is why the square root of 9 is 3. Wow. So in SURD, we take square root of perfect squares. But if the number is not a perfect square, what do? Let's take for instance this root of 10. 10 is not a perfect square. But we still have to think if you get a number which is a perfect square that can divide it, but we won't get any number. 2 can divide 2 can divide 10, but 2 is not a perfect square. 5 can divide 10, but 5 is not a perfect square. So we just leave it. 1 is a perfect square, but we don't need 1 here. So if we get root 10, we just leave it. But what about if I get root 12? Wow. If I get root 12, then I have to quickly go through these perfect squares within a minute, within a second in my head to check what perfect square can simply divide 12. That is 4. So since 4 is a perfect square, then I'll write 12 in terms of 4. Please, not in addition form, but in multiplication form. That is square root of 4 times 3. Now this simply means square root of 4 times square root of 3. Why is this so? Here too, we use the idea of indices. If I have a to the power n, b to the power n, this simply means a times b all to the power n. Let's look at it here. Square root means power half. So if I have 4 times 3 all power half as a times b all power n, then a will take the power n. So I write 4 power half times the 3, what's it take power half? But power half means square root. So that will give me square root of 4 times square root of 3. Wow. Now, if we come here, square root of 4 is 2. So I'll put 2 here. Times square root of 3. Now here, should I take 2 times 3? That will give me square root of 6? No. This is absolutely wrong. You don't go by this way. What we do is that we multiply these two by the coefficient here. What number is in front of this root 3? That is 1. So 2 times 1 is 2. Wow. That is very, very simple. So whenever we write a given number and we want you to just break it down, it is very simple. So at the comment section after this, leave something there. I'm going to think about the perfect square and then multiply it by a number which is not a perfect square. So let me think about, say, 25. And then multiply 25 by, let's say, 3. Wow. So this will simply give me 125. And then let me put this under the square root. So how do I simplify root 125? So I'll just think of perfect squares. 4 cannot divide this, 16 cannot divide this, 25 can divide this. So I'll just write this square root of 25 times 5. And this simply means square root of 25 times square root of 5. And this gives 5 root 5. Oh wow, this is not 5, it's 3 rather. That is 25 times 3 gives 125. So this gives this. So at the comment section, write your own question so that you all simplify it at the comment section. Think of a perfect square. Now let me think of this perfect square. 36. And then I'll multiply it by 2. I'll get 72. So I'll put 72 under this square root. So this simply means square root of 36 times square root of 2. But square root of 36 is 6. Because 6 squared will give you 36. So this simply means 6 times square root of 2. And that is 6 times 1, 6 root 2. Wow. Yes. Think about a given perfect square and then multiply it by another number. Let me think of 100, which is a perfect square, and then multiply it by 12. So 100 times 12 will give me 1200. So let me put 1200 under the square root. So this simply means 100 under the square root times square root of 12. Square root of 100 is 10. Times 1 here will give me 10 root 12. But 12, there's still a perfect square that can go and divide 12. And that is 4. So here I have 10 times square root of 4 times square root of 3. Wow. So this gives me 10 times root 4 is 2 times root 3. So 10 times 2 is 20 times 1 gives 20 root 3. If we also take 400, which is a perfect square, that is 20 squared, is equal to 400. You see that here, 400 can also divide 1200 into 3. So you could have written this one as square root of 400 times square root of 3. Sorry? But square root of 100 is 20. So this gives us 20 root 3. So that is how we simplify a given number under the radical, precisely under the square root. So it's very, very simple. Now, check this and then let's see. Can you do this one? If I write 2 on 3, square root of 243. Yes, how do you simplify this one? So here, you check. You can quickly check with the calculator. 4 cannot divide. 9, check for 9. You can check for 60, you can check for 25, and so on and so forth. You can check there. So if you check and get a perfect square, you use it, and then the answer that you get, you check if the number under the radical can still be divided by a given perfect square. So this one, I thought of 81, and then multiplied 81 by 3. Wow. I thought of 81 and then multiplied it by 3. Because 81 times 3 is 243. So this one is 2 on 3 times square root of 81 times square root of 3. This gives 2 on 3 times square root of 81 is 9 times square root of 3. You can point this one with the calculator if you cannot do it. But this is the same 2 times 9, 18. Divided by 3, that is 6. So this gives 6 divided by root. 6 times root 3. As 2 on 3 times square root of 243. So this is simply the basics. That is very, very simple. So whenever someone is writing any question, then that question depends on a given perfect square. Now let's do this one. Let's see. Let's think of 9 and then multiply 9 by 5. 9 times 5 is 45, right? So if I take square root of 45, I get root 9 times root 5. And that gives 3 root 5. If I think of, let's say, 24, square root of 24, this is simply square root of 4 times 6, and this gives 2 root 6, because square root of 4 is 2, and root 6 is still root 6. You continue from addition and then subtraction of sets. Thank you for watching. Please kindly follow me on TikTok at @nkontapapa, Facebook Mass with them, and also subscribe to my YouTube channel, Nkonta Papa. Please kindly leave your comments for us to grow the learning community. Bye bye.